Hi guys, it's Erin, and I'm going to do my best to actually narrate this for you. So I wanted to make a, what do you call it, like a journal page with my new dilution sprays. No, distress sprays, that's what they are. Because I wanted to see how they work differently than the dilution sprays. That's why it was in my head. So you see me working with various colors. I'm not going to write the colors down because I have no idea what I was grabbing. I was just kind of putting them on the page because I wanted to do a, rainbow type feature with this. And I cut out a lot of drying, but you can see that there is a lot of drying and sprinkling of water and a lot more drying and then sprinkling of water. So that's what happened with this. And I just kept layering up the colors and spritzing the water like that to get the different effects. And I wanted a mottled kind of rainy look to the color in the back. And some parts did it. The blue and the purple really did it. The red sort of did it, and the green just did not behave at all. I did at least 15 layers on that green, and I could not get it to look the way I wanted to, which was rather frustrating, actually. But, I eventually had to just be like, okay, this is as good as it's going to get. And I think it has to do with the paper. And here I'm showing you that this is what we do with overspray. You take watercolor paper or, whatever kind of paper, and you dip it into the water, and then now you've got pre-made backgrounds for cards. You can stamp on that like a heart, or, you could cut a heart out of it and then put it on your next project. Whatever, you've already made backgrounds just from this overspray and stuff. So that's just a little preview of what I did. So, or not a preview, but a little example of what I did so that, I have this little stack of pre-done backgrounds that I can grab from the next time I want to make something. And here is yet more drying. So this is the Dorland's wax, and it's pretty much identical to that Distress wax stuff, except it's cheaper and it comes in a larger container. And what we're doing here is I'm spreading wax on the entire surface so that it can be sealed. Because if I put gel medium over this right now, the colors are going to run, because that's part of the distress feature, is that when you wet it in any kind of way, it moves and blends. So now I can put the gel medium on it, and it's completely protected by the wax, so it's not going to run or anything like that, and I can get this nice gel sealant as well. And I'm sealing it because I'm going to be gluing things on top of it. The birds are from Prima, and they're part of one of their sets. I don't know. I take everything out of the packaging, so I never remember. Like those flower stamps. Now that I've used them, they're completely out of the packaging. They don't even have foam on them anymore. But anyway, I'm stamping them onto watercolor paper because I want to do the same thing. And I'm stamping them on there so that I have the little spindly legs and stuff, and I don't have to try and cut those out. And I'm also going to layer up some flowers, so I'm stamping those on there, and I'm going to spray them. And this one gets a bit more messy, so what I do with the overspray is I just take an entire other journal and I spoosh it down onto the mixed colors, because I didn't want to sit there with 1,700 pieces of paper, making all these backgrounds and stuff. You could. I'm not saying you can't. Part of the joy for some people with art journaling is saving all of those things and being able to use, like unwasted paint and all of that stuff. For me, I find that incredibly stressful. I can't stand the idea of I don't have any plan for this. There's a page with a bunch of stuff on it, and I don't know what to do with it, but I'll figure it out later. That stresses me out. And for other people, that really inspires them. So it's just however you approach art journaling. And so, yeah, I tend not to make too many of those things, but this is the kind of thing where I don't want to waste all of this spray, so I will try and use a little bit of it. But I didn't go completely crazy with it. Like, that's about as far as I went, and then I just left it. I ran a piece of paper over it. If I waste more than that, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, we're doing this for fun, right? And if your art stresses you out, you shouldn't be doing it, whatever it is. If someone thinks it's one way and you think it's another way, go with what you feel is better. But yeah, I'm coloring the birds with these with the sprays, and they're going to be opposite colors of where they're sitting, so that they stand out more. And I wanted him to be more yellow, but I find that the mustard that I have is not the proper yellow that I want. So I need to find that sunshine one, and I haven't found anybody that sells it. But yeah, the whole point of this bird was supposed to be bright yellow and then like red and then orange, and it did not happen. But you know, that's one of those surprise things that, you know, there's not a whole lot you can do about things sometimes. And I'm just giving them texture with these stamps. And again, his stamping did not come out right, but whatever. So yeah, you can see me spraying on top of spraying on top of spraying. I'm not going to say it got muddy, but it got really interesting looking. So yeah, I'm going to glue it down here with the gel medium and then put gel medium on top of it too so that it gets a seamless layer there. Sorry, I had to cough. And then I'm going to layer up these all these flowers so that it kind of looks like the bird is resting in them. Now, would it have been smarter if I did a different color and not put purple on purple? Yes. But I wanted that bird to look like he's sitting in those flowers, and to do that, I still wanted pink flowers as well. So to do that, they kind of blend in a little, but you'll see what I do to help that a bit too, so they stand out more. Right now I'm just kind of building and layering and trying to get a little bit of the background and some of those leaves showing as well, so that you've got the one bird flying and the one bird that is resting, because it's going to go with the quote that I planned. Because my approach to art journaling is I see a quote or hear a song or something that I want to remember, and I try and build a page around that. So it's, you know, I want this kind of background, or I want this kind of feel, or, you know, I want this way to remember that quote, and that's where I go for my journaling. And your approach could be totally different. I mean, you know, my way isn't better, and neither is anybody else's way. It's just whatever gets you creating. I can't do the random thing. I started this 6 years ago and I'm going to just finish it now. I can't do that. I have to have a clear idea in my mind of what I'm going to do. Now this is Crackle Texture Paste from Prima, and it was supposed to be silver because it's called platinum, but it's not. It's like a pearl color. And anyway, I'm putting it through a Tim Holtz stencil, and I thought it would look cool. You know, the weird crackly spotted texture. It almost looks like rain when it's finished. And I'm going to give you a too fast close-up because my thing would not let me show it any better than that. But I'm just picking up the places where I didn't quite want it to be. Like on the bird's wings, I didn't want it to be there. So while it's still wet, I'm just going to pick it up. And there you can see it pretty close. You can pause it if you want, but I'm going to add some highlights and some shadows with the Faber-Castell India ink. I'm sorry for my head. I kind of had to get in close for that. If I had stronger glasses, it might help, but yeah. But yeah, I'm doing shading with a brown color so that it's under their wings and kind of around their bodies to help them stand out a bit. And it doesn't work with the purple as much as I would have liked, so I just went back to the brown to get some shading and depth in between the parts of the stamp that were clearly in the back, and then some definition between each of the petals, because you can clearly see where the petals are together and where they're not, and the drop shadows between the leaves and stuff like that. So I wanted to highlight those things so that they make it stand out and look more real. And so you can see me just smudging that, and I can do that because it has a layer of gel medium over it. And the quote here is, "Wisdom is learning to let go when you want to hold on, and courage is letting go, is learning to hang on when you want to let go." I can talk. I have to read it as I'm doing it. So, and then I just outlined some things and highlighted them for fun. My video is going to cut out because my entire card was full, and so I'm going to show you a picture at the end. But this is basically what I did, is I went around the leaves and the petals and some of the bird and just gave random highlights. These are not real life highlights. These are just highlights that are meant to look cartoony and fun because I, just wanted some fun to them. So that's me trying to figure out where to put the highlights on this bird. And so you can see his wings and his little hair, or his little head rather. He doesn't have a hair, he's a bird. And then I also end up putting some in the crackle too. And I gave him I tried various things to give him a little branch because it still looked like he wasn't holding on to anything. So here's a picture of it fully done. And you can see all of the little squiggles that I added in with the crackle paint. So it looks almost like confetti or rain. I don't know. But anyway, I wanted to narrate this for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked this page, and it was pretty simple to do, as you can see. So I encourage you to go out and try and have a good day. All right, goodbye.